Let's go over to Stamford Bridge, another team that's kind of yin and yang at the as well. Chelsea getting a 2-0 win.
Chelsea.
Back to business, bro.
They got a 2-0 win against Everton with Cole Palmer back among the goals. Oscar, how good was it to see the cold man himself? You were there?
Yeah, I was at the game. He's not quite back to his best, but he's just such an upgrade on this team in terms of a player that has a little bit of X factor in the final third and is clearly our best creator in the team. So in terms of help, you guys were talking about creation in the middle of the park and stuff like that. He's the one person that makes that tick for Chelsea because we don't really have it without him. And he's also the best finisher and the best goal scorer in the team. So he's literally a dual threat. Without him, we don't create. And without him, who's going to put the ball in the net? You know what I mean? Like, who's actually going to do it? Like, the goal he scored was so clutch. Like, he points to... I think Reece James has the ball and he points to Malo Gusto because he can see that Gusto's in the space. He had before Reece makes the pass, Palmer makes the run, and then the 1-2 just kind of happens, a little triangle. And yeah, it was great to see because it was a little reminder of what we've been missing in terms of like that on the field ingenuity. You know what I mean? You need minds, innit? You need geniuses on the pitch to kind of make things happen for you and make things tick. I see it in other teams and certain players. Some people don't agree, but I think those kind of players are very, very important to unlocking doors. So it's nice to have Palmer back. Unfortunately, it feels like this injury of his is not going away. There was a report that came out Friday night that basically said that like it was like a reissue of the injury. It was basically like Palmer is struggling. Palmer cannot continue to play for a lot. So he played 60 minutes. He wasn't in our Champions League squad in midweek, and he had played 60 minutes against Bournemouth the week prior. So we are managing his minutes and making sure that, it's tempered and urging his way back. Now, the only reason I have a little bit of confidence in that system is the fact that Reece James is playing football. Reece James played 90 minutes 3 times this week. Guys, that is unheard of. That is unheard of. Do you know who else? Do you know who else played football? One of our better players over the last few weeks, Wesley Fofana, is a regular for Chelsea in the Premier League. He is starting games, he is completing games, and he's getting back to, the good defender that we feel like he always had the potential to be. So, in the way that Chelsea have been managing injuries, I can't fault what they've done in the last year. You know what I mean? They have done the right thing. They've stood by players and allowed them to wait. However, when it comes to on the pitch, guys, Chelsea were not good. I can speak well of Palmer. I can speak well of Malo Gusto. I can speak well of Wesley Fofana. But other than those 3 players, there weren't many good performances on the pitch on Saturday. We allowed Everton to look like a team that was even. It was a 50-50 game. The only thing that separated us from Everton is we took our chances when they came. So don't be fooled by the 3 p.m. Saturday into thinking Chelsea are back, because boy, that was not a good performance.
Interesting, because obviously I saw the match of the day stuff, and it was quite. They showed quite a bit of Chelsea, and I thought, okay, maybe Chelsea are cooking something here. And unfortunately, there's only so much they can show. They got 5-10 minutes to show a 90-minute game. Everton are kind of one of those teams that I'm just like they blow hot and cold. But then David Moyes, whenever he's away from home against these big lot, never wants to come out. He just doesn't want to come outside.
Yeah, Moyes in his entire career has never won at Stamford Bridge.
Well, do you remember we did the stats the other day of his first win at? Was it his first win at Old Trafford? Yeah,
I was shocked. I was shocked by that one. I'm shocked by this. He's never won. And obviously, when you hear that stat before a game, you're like, "Oh, obviously he gets his first win this year." you just know it's happening. But bro, like my name today is titled "Beginning of the End."
Hey, what one with Maresca, bro?
This is where we're going, David. This is where we're going. So before the Everton game, or was it after the Everton game, post-match press conference, Maresca comes out and says the last 48 hours, he's obviously talking about post the loss we lost in midweek. Who did we lose to? Atalanta. We lost to Atalanta. Horrible performance from us, and we lost that game. And Maresca came out and said, this has been like the least backing I've ever had since I've been at the club. And obviously that's off the back of losing against Leeds, then drawing away at Bournemouth 0-0, and then a defeat at Atalanta. So it just compiled bad result after bad result after bad result. And then when they clarified him, they said, well, you don't feel the support, you don't feel the backing. Is that from the fans? He specifically said, no, I'm not talking about the fans. But then he left it. So obviously that is a comment on how the board have treated him. Because I was even shocked when he said the last 48 hours. I was like, right, nobody's really been talking about Chelsea too tough. Like, what was he on about? But he's talking about the board, obviously, and the conversation he's having internally about why the results are not going his way. He obviously feels some sort of way about how, maybe the recruitment, maybe what was promised to him in terms of time and ability to build with this young squad. And he clearly feels like maybe he's being thrown under the bus a little bit. And the reason I say beginning of the end is because when a manager at Chelsea Football Club starts talking as though they are no longer one with the board, as though they are two different entities, the writing is normally on the wall. You go against the Chelsea board, whether it was either the Roman era or, the current era, there's only going to be one winner. There's only going to be one winner. And I think I just don't foresee Chelsea managing the storm of the next few games. We've got a few tough games, man. We've got Villa coming up. We've got Newcastle away this weekend. And then it just gets tougher in January. And, Chelsea's performance in the Champions League will be judged. Chelsea's performance in the league will be judged. And as good as I think Maresca is as a manager, I don't think his deficiencies are going to be minimized enough to carry him through a back and forth turmoil with the board. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I phrased that correctly. No, basically, I think he's a good manager. I don't think he's that good to be talking about the board recklessly. Yeah. That's
interesting.
That's scary time. That's scary times.
Is this something that you would want to see him go, or where are you with it?
I think Maresca's a good coach, and I'm more disillusioned with the board's way of doing things than I am with his way of doing things. Don't get me wrong; he's frustrating. He gets things wrong. He's cost us points this season due to poor decision making. If I start to speak about that Champions League game in midweek, I'll blow a gasket. Why? He just does things that are weird. Esteban hasn't started the last 3 games for Chelsea. Why?
Yeah.
You're struggling to create chances. Why is your lightning quick attacker not being allowed to show what he can do in this period? It's frustrating. However, what's more frustrating to me is a club that sells a player like Madueke and replaces him with Jamie Gittins and Garnacho. What's more frustrating is a club that sells Nicholas Jackson and replaces him with Liam Delap. That is more frustrating to me than anything Maresca is doing.
But you want to see him gone, though, don't you? Jackson, for example. Like, you don't want him to be at the club.
Selling Jackson and selling Madueke is not a stick to beat anybody with. I can see why you would say those players aren't good enough. However, you should surely replace them with players that are undeniably good enough.
Like, do you think? Where are you?
He did a like-for-like sub in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Who does that? It's a like-for-like sub.
I love that. That's great.
You're bringing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's and I don't believe any of that is Maresca. I don't think Maresca's saying these things. I don't think Maresca's asking for these players. Yeah, so it's a long way, man. It's a long way back for him.
On a side note, halftime report with half-term report for Madueke at Arsenal. Like, is he done better than you thought he would, or is he done the same? Right about what you think he was? Is he worse?
If you remember, I always liked Madueke at Chelsea. It was one of the ones. Who was it in the comments? Tahar used to cook me in the comments. He's like, "Why do you like this winger, man? This guy's meaty. This guy's this and that." I always saw the talent and opportunity in him, and I think how Arsenal use him is probably the best way to get the best out of him. Back up for Saka. He can come and bang goals in the Champions League, and win you a game, and happy to sit on the bench in the next game. That's what you. That's depth. That's what you need.
That's what you need, isn't it?
And he's further along in his development than a player like Jamie Gittins.